Hey, what's up, Bobcat home base superstars? It's Weaver and
Mrs. Brothers.
Good coffee. Got to get a little bit of cold brew nitro in to have all that energy. Week 2 of our SEL lesson, and we're talking about being an encourager. Let me say that again really slowly. Being an encourager. So, using words of affirmation, words that compliment people, using positive words. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and then you can tell us what an encourager is all about.
Sure. So we're all affected by words every day, good or bad. I'm sure that if you're anything like me and the other kids I've interacted with, we can all remember the power of someone's words, whether that infected us in a positive way and made our day, or if it, just sets us up to kind of have a bad day. So the reality is that when someone says something negative, harsh, or critical, it can actually rewire your brain. It affects the way your brain interprets messages for the rest of the day. So we want to encourage you to be encouragers to those around you. If we're going to affect someone every day, we're going to impact the way that they interact with others and the way they interact with themselves. We should want that to be a positive impact.
Okay, because words, so you're saying words have an effect on us as humans.
Absolutely.
In our brains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of like, I don't know, the silly illustration with the toothpaste, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once that tube of toothpaste is squeezed, the toothpaste comes out and we can't put it back into the tube, right?
Sure, absolutely. I remember times that I've had, conflict with friends or family and people that genuinely care about me. And if they've said something to hurt my feelings, they apologize. But I still remember the harsh things. It still had a negative effect on me.
But if we use positive words,
mm-hmm.
that has an effect to reroute maybe a bad day.
Yeah, absolutely. I can also remember great things people have said. And I personally feel better when I know that I'm making the people around me feel better. There's something that is inspiring and empowering about knowing that you're having a positive effect on those around you.
Okay. And those things that go on in our brain, and mm-hmm. I have these little things in the classroom. I've had these forever. I've got a little, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a thought bubble, and then I have a speech bubble, kind of like the cartoon speech bubble, right? So sometimes things that go on in our head should probably just remain being mm-hmm. in our head, being a thought, right? Rather than regurgitating and, I don't know, I don't mean to sound harsh or abrasive here, but sometimes it's just like bleh, out of our mm-hmm. mouth because we can't put those words back in. And then we should think about what we say before we actually say them, right?
Yeah.
And for a lot of us, for me too, it's hard because there is some sort of impulsivity where we want to just act out on the very first thing we think or very first thing we want to say, right?
Yeah, and that's something that I've worked with a lot of people on. How do you stop that thought that pops up in your head from coming out of your mouth and becoming something that you've said to hurt others? And I think a big part of that is identifying the emotions behind that. Most of the time when we say something hurtful that we maybe should have thought through first, it comes from a place of feeling angry or feeling sad. And so because we are hurting, we lash out and try to hurt those around us. So a good thing to do is to identify when you're feeling that way. When you feel like you are so frustrated or upset that you're just going to burst, that's usually when those thoughts come out and to our words. So if you can identify when you start to feeling like that and remove yourself from the situation, that's a great way to prevent that thought from becoming words that you can apologize for, but you can't necessarily take back. So that's something that, listen, if you feel like you're struggling with, that's something that you can come down to the counseling office and talk with me, talk with Miss Gates or Mrs. Robinson, and we'd love to help you with that. That is a skill that you can learn and something that you can learn to master. And, I promise you that if you can get to a place where you're helping others to feel better about themselves, you will feel better about yourself.
Okay, so think about it before you actually say it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make sure it's something that's encouraging.
Yeah.
So think about it before you say it.
Yeah,
Simply
and this
right?
week we have a quote that we want you to cling on to. You'll talk about it more in your lesson coming forward in the next few minutes, but it is from Maya Angelou. It's actually one of my favorite quotes. And she says that people will forget what you said, they may forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Oh.
And I know that that's true for me. I may not remember every detail of mean things or positive things that were said to me, but when I look back on my time in junior high or in high school, and I remember my classmates, what I do remember about them is how they made me feel, how they made the people around them feel, and that is like a legacy. We all have one. So, you have the power to make that legacy something worth remembering or something you're going to look back on and wish you could forget.
Perfect. It reminds me of Marty Smith from ESPN.
Yeah.
So this happened a couple years ago, and we'll put the link below, or we'll put the link in the presentation. And teachers, feel free to share the link or open it up and watch the video. But it reminds me of Marty Smith, who is, ESPN analyst, commentator, and he was up in the stands. He just finished doing his stand-up recap of the LSU-Alabama game, I believe it was. And down below was just a local newscaster, and actually he was from Georgia, and he was there covering, and he was doing his stand-up recap, but he kept messing up. But Marty Smith noticed it, and then he went down, and he didn't realize that the film was still going. And he went down and the video tells it all. He went down and encouraged, I think his name was Jack, I don't remember his last name, but local newscaster for CBS, and encouraged Jack, and it made Jack's day. Jack was having a bad day with his interview deal or his stand-up, but Marty Smith came down and rerouted that bad day, and it made Jack's total day. And he tweeted it out, went like 1 million views, and I think he retweeted it again the other day in 2021. But we'll put that in there, and I just think it's an awesome video where Marty Smith gave words of encouragement to this young man that was doing the local news. So it was really awesome. So with that, we've got some weekly challenge. We've got a challenge coming up. We've got the Bobcast podcast,
Yes.
coming up, going to drop today, and then we got more interviews with you coming up, the students. So you want to tell about the weekly challenge on social media on Instagram?
Yeah, so our Instagram, BobcatStrong_MVJHS. If you're not following it yet, make sure you do that. We're going to be highlighting our weekly MVPs who will be announced every Friday, and they'll get a prize for that, as well as just telling you about some cool things going on in the school. So our challenge for you is to make a post on Instagram using your story, recognizing someone that you feel like needs encouragement or that you feel like is doing a good job with our Bobcat Strong initiative. We want you to make a post about them, use those positive words, and make their day. Tag us, BobcatStrong_MVJHS, and use the hashtag BobcatStrongMVJHS, so that when someone clicks that hashtag, they'll see all of these great posts. Do that. We'll share it to our page, share it to the school social media, and just definitely spread the word there. Listen, don't take our word for how these positive words can affect those around you as well as yourself. Try it, which leads us into our other weekly challenge, to be an encourager. You want to tell them?
Be an encourager, and we're going to have that infographic on the presentation. We want you to have 5 compliments, I believe it is, 5 compliments of words of encouragement.
To different people. 5 different people.
5 different people. 5 different people. Okay.
1 a day.
1 a day. And I think you can do it. And that way we can kind of reroute people's bad day. Take a look at Marty Smith's video. That will give you some ideas. I think it's going to be awesome. Let's do that. All right. Bobcat Strong, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Let me pause it and stop it.